I know you remember this. 4.5 years ago, we first welcomed Tamsen Butler, the award-winning author, joined us to discuss her 5th book, teaching teens and college students about personal finance.
As Tamsen puts it, stories used to tumble out of her head, but that changed when she had a stroke. It affected the part of her brain where creativity thrives.
Yeah, Tamsen's story is going to be featured at the Omaha Go Red for Women Expo. She's here alongside Methodist nurse practitioner Katie Triplett. Good to see both of you
welcome
this
back
morning.
to both of you.
Yes.
Thank you. Your first time together in this context.
Yes.
Right? But good to see you all
And
the
Tamsen,
same.
we haven't seen you it's been a few years, and there have been some changes since then. Would you take us through your story since we last saw you? What happened?
I'm about a year and a month from when I had my massive stroke, which really kind of happened out of nowhere, because up to that point I was quite healthy, fitness instructor, fitness enthusiast, really good with my diet and all that jazz. And then one day I was putting away groceries and just collapsed with a stroke. And I know, I shake my head too.
I know.
That's the correct response.
No, but so then what happened from there?
Well, I was putting away groceries with my kids, and as I fell to the ground, my daughter kept saying, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She was 11 at the time, and my son was 9 at the time. And so my brain wasn't working quite well because a stroke affects your brain and the blood flow to it. So all I kept telling him was, "It's okay, I'm okay," because you know, you're a mom, you don't want your kids to panic. But at the same time, I knew what was happening because I'd seen enough of the checklists to know, okay, this is what happens when you have a stroke.
Did you know right away?
I did, because first I lost sight in one eye, and then my left side just went slack, and then I couldn't speak. And as far as I was concerned, I was like, "Yep, check, 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 I'm having a stroke."
Right.
And did your kids know better and call 911 at what point?
At what point my daughter, I was on the ground and I kept trying to say, "I'm okay, I'm all right," but it wasn't coming out correctly because I'd lost speech. And she stood over me with her arms like this and she says, "You're not okay, I'm calling somebody."
Thank goodness
Yeah.
she wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, she saved my life.
Your journey back to where we see you today, because I think most people watching would have said, you don't look like you've had a stroke. We don't see any physical effects of it, but that's not to say you haven't worked very hard on the physical and the mental side of recovery.
Yeah, I've worked very hard, and I've been very lucky because I was so healthy before it happened that both my doctor and my physical therapist all said that that's the key to getting better quicker, is if you have that baseline of health beforehand.
Yeah. Are you still feeling any of the effects right now? Physically, you look great.
Thank you. My left side is still markedly weaker than my right side, which I've gotten really good at hiding because I still teach fitness classes, a lot of strength classes. So when my left side starts to give out, that's when I put the weights down and I pretend to be checking everybody's form so nobody can tell that I'm losing my left side. And I still have some cognitive deficits as well.
The writing part of it, right? That's the hard, because
it's very hard.
It was so natural to you before, and now it's more difficult.
It is.
But I feel like to be able to share your story with the hundreds of people who will be at the expo coming up. Because we think about the American Heart Association and heart disease, but stroke is a big part of this picture as well. Why did you want to share her story at the expo?
You know, we really want to raise awareness not only for the cardio, the heart disease part of things, but also the vascular. So cardiovascular really refers to more than just heart disease, any kind of vascular condition. And stroke is a big vascular condition. Of course, Tamsen's story is so important to us and so special because she shows that when you have a healthy lifestyle leading into an event like this, your chances of recovery are so much higher.
Yeah, Tamsen's going to go a little more in depth about her story, but there's also going to be some other people there as well. Who else is attending?
You know, we expect to have around 800 of Omaha's, yes, only 800.
Yeah,
just a couple
small
people.
Crowd.
Yep. There to really celebrate our survivor stories like Tamsen's. We also are going to have, we're going to start with an educational expo where we're going to have all kinds of people there to take blood pressure, to do any kind of reading, and really to educate the masses.
And then the breakout sessions, you'll cover different topics, and
Absolutely.
sometimes they're, oh look, this is a picture from the photo booth last year. A good example of some of the fun. That was me and Kayla and our buddy Chi hanging out beforehand in the ballroom, and I had the pleasure of being there to talk to the crowd some as well. But the sessions this year, what are some of the topics, do you know?
You know, I don't know that we've confirmed those entirely
But
yet.
like in the past, it's been intimacy and heart disease.
Correct.
Or, I mean,
Right.
quite honestly, they try to have some fun with it because they understand that it can be a little bit like pulling teeth in a way to get people to want to hear about heart health or about stroke prevention or whatever, and so they try to make it more interesting.
And it's also geared entirely towards women. I want to emphasize that too. So we encourage women of all ages to come out and learn how they can prevent heart disease and stroke in themselves and their families.
Well, I know we don't have enough time to talk about all the symptoms, but Tamsin, I know that you want people to, they can learn some things at this. Do you have any advice for women out there when it comes to stroke or heart attacks?
Well, specifically to stroke, if you can just remember FAST in your head, then that'll tip you off that something is going on.
And
what
FAST stands for?
FAST stands for your face, because your face will start drooping on one side. And then A is for arm weakness, which I totally had because my arm wouldn't even raise up. S is for slurred speech. And T is for time, because time is really of the essence when it comes to a stroke. Because from what I understand, and I'm not a doctor, from what I understand, once that blood clot hits, you're starting to lose brain cells.
And Tamsin, I've been told it's rude to ask people's ages on television, so I'm not going to ask you your age, but you appear to be a young person. So for somebody to have a stroke at a young age, I mean, that's part of the education process of this as well.
Yeah, I was 41 when I had the stroke.
Yeah.
August 30th is the date. KMTV, a proud sponsor of the Omaha Go Red for Women Expo. Methodist, the big powerhouse behind this, driving it. So we'll thank them, and thank you both for being here. We'll see you later on.
See you guys. Tamsin, thanks for sharing your
you.
story.
Thank you.
Guest of the Morning Blend starts